Something that you're doing now, it's kind of a little foreshadow. I think I'd like for people to understand kind of where you've segued now too, because when you have an exit like that, oftentimes people are wondering, like, I had this conversation today: is what am I do? What am I going to do with my time? And something that's really helpful. And you talked about having a thorough transition plan and having a way to be able to successfully enable the buyer to be able to have ongoing sales and growth and launching products and that sort of stuff. And often the seller that's going through this process, sometimes they're burnt out. They just don't, they don't want to, they're selling the business because they're tired of it, or they don't want to be involved in it anymore. John, I understand now you're doing some consulting services for people that are selling on Amazon. Tell us a little bit about that. And for those of you that are listening, this is important, because if you're a seller, you may want your buyer to work with John. And if you're a buyer and you don't know how to do Amazon quite as well as someone who's had a really successful track record like John, or the seller that you're getting ready to buy this thing from, it's really good to have somebody in that co-captain seat with you. So John, tell us a little bit about, did you know that you would start doing this when you sold your business, and like, how did kind of that all unfold?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I think my light bulb moment was when I actually traveled to the state of the buyer of my business, and spent some time with them, just working one-on-one, and, going through all the mechanics of Amazon. I mean, really teaching them from scratch. And so I kind of had a light bulb moment of, maybe there's, a market for this, of someone who has done it all, everything down to hijackers and random, listing suspensions. So I started kind of thinking about that, and I ended up taking a sabbatical, close to 6 months, and just, enjoying some time off, because it was pretty brutal, selling a business while growing a business, and at that level that I was at, with employees and everything, it definitely takes a toll. So I took some time off, and then during the sabbatical, just started really thinking about consulting and what that would look like. And I didn't want to go down the road of kind of like the stereotypical guru, doing, courses that cost $5,000, and, producing videos with Lamborghinis. And honestly, to do all those things is actually really easy. A lot of people don't realize that those guys, it's really easy to fake all that stuff, and rent a Lamborghini, and basically lie about your experience in Amazon. So with me, my idea was to, present an authentic, honest consultancy. And so my mission is to help other sellers just go through those hard challenges with their business, and help optimize them and get them to a point where they're just, growing their business or helping them exit themselves. So I definitely wanted to kind of stay away from that, and everything related to my business is kind of built that way. I don't have like any like weird long-term contracts. It's really an exchange of time. And so the name of the business is called, Black Label Advisor. So I actually talked to my wife about this, coming up with ideas, because everything down to, the product brands that I did in those 5 years, there was always a story or a mission statement involved in the name. And so for Black Label, I personally love whiskey. And so Black Label is a common thing. People put that on bottles. It's, small batch production. And so that was kind of a play on words, the labels for private label. So Black Label is just kind of presenting the image of one-on-one VIP consulting. And so some agencies, they grow to a large level where they have employees who are now advising those people, and those employees have zero Amazon experience. And that's not really where I'm headed. And so for me, it's, myself consulting one-on-one with people. And so the other part of it too is just, just deriving joy from something. So just helping people get through those hard things, and not repeating some of the mistakes I made. And I was actually talking with a client recently, and I'm just brutally honest. And I'm like, yeah, you're talking to a consultant who almost went bankrupt, And then I talk about, those cash flow issues that I ran into and how I overcame those things. And so I go through those things with my clients, helping them to not repeat some of those mistakes. Because I think if you're educated there's no reason for you to repeat, to go through those horrible, horrible situations. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of background.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, it's cool to meet a kindred spirit. I feel the same way about being a business broker now. I was an e-commerce entrepreneur for close to a decade, sold 9 figures of health and beauty products off Amazon, and I really found my stride and love and interest and passion was around doing the advisory side, and I was a natural matchmaker, doing conferences and trade shows and mastermind. And the brokering side of things just kind of came as a natural evolution, and it's so cool to be a part of other people's exits. And having had my own successful exit, and also having bankrupted companies, I've had tremendous failures too, and being able to share and express, okay, do this, don't do that. I know this one cost me a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's cool, because from that experience, I think those like us can be really effective guides through the process.
100%.
Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications about new videos and interviews. And introduce yourself in the comments. Are you a buyer or a seller?